Hey guys, welcome back to Bros Books. My name's Jacqueline, and today I'm going to talk about how I got into reading and how my journals have escalated throughout the years. So, to start off, the reason why I got into journaling is because I noticed that I was reading a ton. I loved Goodreads, but I wanted something a little bit more and a little bit of a fun hobby to do independently. So, I started at first. Hey, Polo. Polo's coming down. You might hear him. At the very beginning, this is my journal I did from 2018 to 2021. And this was just one of those like $3 Marshalls journals that I decided I need to write down what I've read and especially the ending. I could not remember all the endings with how many books I've read. And I didn't want to put it on a Goodreads review. So I started off with just a table of contents, and then throughout the book, I did a short summary, and then pictures were printed on like an old 2000 like 12 Epson printer, and I just wrote down the summaries and then eventually glued in the pictures. So that was my first journal ever. The next journal I'm going to show you is the Book Lovers Journal. My husband noticed that I wanted to continue journaling, and so he bought this little journal, I believe just like right off of Amazon, and I labeled it book number 2, logging from 96 to about 120. So this one is kind of cool. And then I added in my book log table of contents. And with the purpose of this journal, it didn't give me a ton of space to really write down what I wanted. If you're wanting to get into bullet journaling, but you don't really know what, and you want a lot of concrete places to put things, I highly recommend this little Book Lovers Journal. But for me, with what I need to complete for my reading journal, it just didn't cut it. But I filled it in. It had the remaining of 2021 reads and some 2022 reads. So this is kind of what it looked like. I gave the author the logging number that I did, the title, the month and year that I finished it, and then how many pages. And sometimes I wrote down the genre and sometimes I didn't. It also down here gives star ratings, but you could even do it with all of these different categories. That's just not something I personally needed. And then I wrote down the summary of what was going on and labeled it 3 stars. You can notice that as I continue showing you, I use a lot of pages for my summaries, and especially some that I needed way more space. And just for fun, I'm going to show you. This is when I also read A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is my whole journal with A Court of Thorns and Roses, and you just need to see how small my handwriting gets. Okay, so this is the beginning, and then you might slowly start to notice how little and how long these summaries are going. Just because if you've ever read A Court of Thorns and Roses, you know how crazy it gets and how much information happens, but it's such a bingeable read. So I was able to squeak in a couple more, and I think there were like some final ones I did, and that was my second journal. This did not finish for me in 2022. I still needed to continue on into another journal. So I filled this one up probably by March. So then I moved into this type of notebook that I found at Marshall's. I labeled it book number 3, and this is logging books from 120 to 227, March to the end of the year. So I liked this one. I liked the style of it at first. And I noticed too that I put the list, the table of contents at the back of the book, not realizing that I wanted something like that until halfway through. So here's kind of how I did the next layout. Again, I'm going to keep it a little bit far away so if you continue reading, you're going to read some spoilers. But all I really focused on is the number logged, the month, the author, the star rating, and the pages. And that's what I continued doing. And I tried to get each summary just a page length long. And that's kind of what I did for all of these books. And I did not fill this whole notebook up. By the time I got to the end of the year, I did not want to continue on to this type of journal for two reasons. One, I was noticing what reading bullet journals are, okay? And then I also noticed that the spiral on this thing, I mean, you can see right now, it was very irritating. It was coming off. It was not satisfying to turn the pages, and I didn't want it to end up breaking the more I used it. And then I put a little tab back here again for my table of contents, the star rating, the month, and just had it going until I finished with the end of the year. So that was my third journal, and now I'm on to my 2023 reading bullet journal. This is by far my favorite journal I've ever done. If you just see the length and how thick it has gotten, it's awesome. I love doing this. Some people think I can't do a reading bullet journal. It might take way too much time, and it does at first. But once you get some templates going and just noticing what you've done, it's pretty cool. A great collection. It's super satisfying. And I will be continuing on into 2024 with the same type of journal, just a different color, but the same format. This journal I got from just a Michael's Arts and Crafts supply store. I think in a couple years, once I continue practicing with reading bullet journals, I will want to purchase an Archer and Olive journal. Those are more expensive, but way bigger bang for your buck. But this, I wasn't sure if I was going to get into reading, into the bullet journaling, but now I know that I love it. It's something that I'm going to want to purchase maybe for 2025. I'll just show you a couple quick things. I do have a full video up of my 2023 journal and spreads, but I'll just show you kind of like what a reading bullet journal consists of. So for me, I put down my reading log and my rating system, and that continued on for a couple. And then I'm going to zoom in here just for you to see. Bullet journals are bullet journals because they have little bullets. They have little dots to help you with designing and creating your spreads. So once I ran out of my table of contents lines that the journal gave me, I created some more and I taped another spread in here. So I'm just going to go through quickly as to how this one was set up. I had some of these fun spreads that I did. I don't want to show you all of them because they're going to be in my other video of my 2023 bullet journal at a glance. But here's just a couple monthly spreads I did. And then for my summaries, I ended up going with a monthly spread showing the pictures of the books, the title of each book, and then here are my summaries. So I split it into fourths with a 2-page spread, printed out the little book icons, and then also included how things ended, and then it would go into the next month. So that's kind of my journey of how I started journaling and how I'm going to continue bullet journaling into the next year. But thanks for watching. If you're interested in knowing more about my 2023 journal, you can hop on over to the next video. If you are interested in seeing a blank 2024 journal, I will be showing that soon. Take care, guys, and happy reading.